All right, chat. We're gonna check out 10 WWE moments that broke the internet. This one looks interesting. This looks really interesting.
104 million views.
10 WWE moments that broke the internet. Number 10, Rhea Ripley's stink face. Now in 2024, as part of Rhea Ripley's mommy persona, she began to deliver a stink face at live events. Footage of Ripley's antics quickly surfaced on the internet and they quickly went viral. Whilst the majority of fans saw great humor in Ripley imitating Rikishi, some fans believed that Ripley was stepping out of line and her actions.
This video went crazy online. I saw it literally everywhere. Everywhere. I couldn't go on Instagram, Facebook, anything. I couldn't open up no apps at work. Because if they would have saw this on my screen while I was on my phone, I didn't want much thinking I was like, you know.
Actions weren't appropriate for the PG product. Ripley would directly address these criticisms during an interview with Ring the Bella, and Ripley called out the hypocrisy from certain members of the fans. Shut up. Honestly, it was really funny because I get criticism for every single little thing I do. But you see the men doing this and you're like, yeah, that looks cool, amazing. Tiffany Stratton does this the other week and they're like, oh my god, I love you, Tiffany. Oh my god, you're so sexy.
True?
Please do that to me. But when I do it, there's a problem. Why? You're just mad that I'm popular, that's why. But Ripley was spot on with this assessment, and these comments definitely put a lot of critics in their place. Number 9.
I mean, if you want to be 100% honest, if you go back and look at that footage of Tiffany Stratton, now Rhea Ripley's not wrong about this, not wrong about this at all. But I think people may have a problem with like taking their kids to the show and seeing all her booty meat hanging out, right? Her backside bongos were hanging out, the Jello was spilling out of the bag. And some people probably brought some kids there, some conservative adults who don't want their kids to see stuff like that, and see you jiggling things around and then, putting it in someone's face. I can see where they may feel a way about it, but let's play devil's advocate. There are some people who probably just jealous. They were just probably jealous of the way she looked and like how she's able to be comfortable and do the things that she can do with that type of body, basically, right? How do I say that in a respectful way to Buddy Murphy? But that's basically what they'll look at. And most of the guys, if there were guys who said something about that, I guarantee if you see what they look up when their browsers in incognito mode, it's far worse. It's far worse than what you see on there, bro. It's far worse.
And these comments definitely put a lot of critics in their place. Number 9, the F-bomb.
This is the infamous clip. Like when I first started to grow as a channel, the first video I got that actually kind of blew up was me doing a reaction to him and Seth Rollins back and forth promo. It was split screen and it was crazy. And I thought I got hacked because that was around the time where YouTube was deleting channels and taking subscribers away from people because people were having, like, they were buying subs and paying for bots and stuff like that. So when I saw that my numbers went up, I was scared. I thought I was getting hacked. I thought something happened. Like, I didn't know what was going on, but, thankfully that wasn't the case.
Due to WWE being a PG presentation and Vince McMahon previously having strict rules on cursing, the idea of a wrestler dropping an F-bomb during a promo was impossible to even fathom.
Yeah.
However, when Triple H took over WWE Creative, he allowed the talent to push the boundaries of what was permitted, and he even allowed Matt Riddle to curse during an intense yet fantastic promo on Raw. On the August 29th, 2022 edition of Raw, Riddle and Seth Rollins were exchanging shots in a virtual promo exchange. And in the promo, Rollins declared, "Yo Riddle, are you still there? You talk about my family, let's talk about your family. Oh wait, you don't have one because your wife divorced you and took your kids and didn't want to see your bitch ass anymore." Riddle then responded by saying he was going to F up Rollins. This segment was tremendous and it lit social media on fire for
that
all
was
the
crazy.
right reasons. Casual fans were questioning if the segment was real, and some fans genuinely believed that both men had just gone off script. During an interview with Chris Van Vliet, Riddle discussed the infamous F-bomb, and he revealed that Triple H said he was permitted to use it. "That was given to me. Thank you, Triple H. I think that was the give-take. It also gave me an element of realism. He got his pill, his bullet of realism that gave me mine because nobody says the F-word in WWE. Nobody says it on TV, especially my character who is cool as a cucumber. He crossed the line. Where the F are you? Where are you? I'm gonna kill you." They said I couldn't say kill, but
that was
I could
so
say
good.
The F-bomb. The fact that kill was
so
seen as
good.
too far, but an F-bomb was perfectly fine is kind of unusual. Nevertheless, this was a sign of things to come when it came to the Triple H era of WWE. Number 8, Drew meets Jack. Drew McIntyre vs CM Punk was without a doubt the feud of the year in 2024, but one of the reasons why the feud worked so well was because both men were committed to keeping kayfabe alive. Hilariously, to sell the feud, McIntyre took to social media and shared a photo with Jack Perry. Perry was of course a wrestler who Punk had a physical commotion with in AEW and was partly responsible for Punk getting fired from the promotion. The post went viral instantly, and even though McIntyre eventually deleted the post, screenshots were already circulating around.
Drew McIntyre is the pettiest wrestler of all time. One of the greatest trolls in WWE history, man. Especially in his feud with CM Punk. That was God level trolling. That was crazy. Now, he ain't had to come to Chicago and disrespect the bakery there. He ain't had to do all that. But all the other stuff, I love it. I respect him.
On the internet. During an interview with Chris Van Vliet, McIntyre would share the inside story of how the photo came about. I was flying to LA and they just did a show the night before. I saw Roderick Strong at the airport, a buddy of mine, and we got to catch up, which was awesome. He was headed to a Ring of Honor show, I believe. Then on the flight, I just seen Jack. Had a little chat with him and his missus, and we snapped a picture, and the internet
with Seth
had a
Rollins,
freaking meltdown. It was hilarious. I think it lasted 45 minutes. The numbers I heard were like 2 million impressions or something insane for 45 minutes. It was pretty wild. People enjoyed that. I'm always dancing on that line on what's acceptable and not acceptable, making people question things. McIntyre would also state that he'll never reveal if WWE made him delete the post, but it's virtually guaranteed that it was indeed WWE that made him remove the post due to Perry being an AEW star. Number 7, Seth Rollins versus CM Punk.
Speaking of Seth Rollins,
While Seth Rollins and CM Punk have managed to work extremely well together in 2025, when Punk first returned to WWE in 2023, there was nothing but bad blood. When Punk returned, WWE kept his return strictly under wraps, and when Rollins saw Punk return at the end of the 2023 Survivor Series PLE, he was legitimately seething. When the show had gone off the air, fan footage showed that Rollins—
That was so crazy, man. I remember I lost my voice. I lost hearing in both my ears because I was actually at that Survivor Series. And when that happened, the whole stadium went crazy. You couldn't hear nothing at all. Nothing. And my ears were ringing for days. I will never forget that moment. I was so happy. I mean, CM Punk's one of my favorite wrestlers, so to be able to see him come out in Chicago, technically as Rosemont, it was so amazing, man. I will never forget that moment.
Was cursing and raging at ringside.
Matt Riddle had 2 jobs in MLW and
from
AEW.
storming up the stage to fight Punk.
He's doing a great job in MLW, though. I watch MLW every week. I just don't do content about it.
The footage went just as viral as the return of Punk, and there were instant calls to see the two collide in a featured matchup. Rollins reflected on his reaction during an interview with Fightful, and this is what he had to say about the incident. Like I said, it was an extremely emotional moment for me. Everyone knows how I feel about CM Punk. I've not made it any more transparent over the past few years. Nothing has changed in that regard. In that moment, I was extremely emotional, and you got a lot of real and raw emotion from me. I don't usually get that worked up about much, but you caught me off guard and there was a real emotion there. That's probably as much as I can say on that without going too far.
Yep, it's Rosemont. I love Seth Rollins. He's one of the best, if not the best wrestler in the world right now. Well, I got a question. How you gonna hate CM Punk and be a Chicago Bears fan at the same time? I don't know how that works, bro. I don't know how that works.
Speculated in the months that followed that Rollins was trying to work an angle with the Survivor Series reaction, and he was trying to garner interest and buzz in the inevitable feud. Number 6, questionable shenanigans. Following WrestleMania 40, WWE began to pair Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio together on screen. The two had fantastic chemistry as a pairing, and WWE booked them in numerous angles which were filled with sexual innuendos. Take for instance on the June 10th, 2024 edition.
He had Dominic Mysterio looking like the slip and fall sign. Whenever they mop the floor in the store and they put that sign, that's exactly how the stick man is on the photo.
Take for instance on the June 10th, 2024 edition of Raw. Morgan would make her presence felt during a match on the show, and Morgan would end up being knocked off the apron straight onto Mysterio. Instead of simply jumping off Mysterio, Morgan remained in a mounted position on top of him.
Thigh thumping enough, what kids watching? That is crazy.
Mysterio, and the reaction from the crowd was one that signaled that they knew they had a segment that belonged in the Attitude Era. This was definitely a segment that could have led to complaints, yet the segment went viral, with numerous non-wrestling social media pages covering the incident.
Morgan soon?
Number 5, Paul Heyman.
He already opened up that gift of chicken nuggets that Roxanne Perez gave him. She put it in a gift box for him, and he ate it. It's over, man. It's over.
Off.
Roxanne look like she can cook. You do.
Heyman produced one of the greatest Hall of Fame speeches of all time in 2024, and thankfully, Heyman waited until Vince McMahon was out of the picture before he accepted his induction, as Heyman was able to cut an unscripted promo of his life and career.
That was
As
so
expected,
great, man.
Heyman delivered the speech of a lifetime, and the content of Heyman's promo didn't just shatter PG, it also led to the internet talking about one specific line. If you think the spirit of ECW died in a bankruptcy court in 2001, you can suck my effing dick. The reaction of wrestlers watching on made the speech even better, as when Heyman uttered the aforementioned line, Randy Orton couldn't contain his emotion, and even wrestlers such as The Miz couldn't stop laughing. Number 4, Drew McIntyre's selfie. During WrestleMania 40, Drew McIntyre decided to tweet during his match with Seth Rollins. The tweet went viral, and a year later at WrestleMania 41, McIntyre decided to one-up his prior act by taking a selfie of himself during his match with Damian Priest.
This man fighting for his life and he taking selfies.
The photo just didn't go viral. It resulted in the second most liked post on X within the first hour past 60 days, most reposted WrestleMania content on X, and most viewed posts during WrestleMania. Fans are now eagerly anticipating McIntyre's post for WrestleMania 42.
Remember that used to be Austin Theory's gimmick? Him taking his selfies all the time? I think that was a great time. That was a great time for him.
With fans throwing out the idea of McIntyre posting a video or even going live. Number 3, birthday suit photo. Samantha Irvin often takes to Instagram to share photos of herself, and during a stint as a WWE ring announcer, she posted a photo of her in her birthday suit on the platform. Naturally, it wasn't before long that the post went viral, and it did come as a surprise that WWE didn't insist that she delete the photo due to the perceived nudity involved.
Yeah, that was it. That was
they
interesting.
let this one slide.
I'm surprised they could show that on here.
WWE in the old era loved to control what their talent posted on social media. However, in the TKO era, this has vastly changed, and the talent are free to post whatever they like on their respective social media channels. Number 2, Rhea Ripley's pin attempt. Now, it's not just the stink face spot that has led to Rhea Ripley being the talk of the internet, as Ripley's antics with Dominic Mysterio also received mainstream attention. The two delivered numerous segments that had a sexual undertone attached to them, and both managed to pull these off extremely well. Additionally, one of the key elements of Ripley's character is a rather unique pin attempts, and the clips and still images of these pins take just a matter of moments to go viral. Whenever Ripley pins her opponent, she tends to put them in a compromising position. Footage of these pins is often found all over social media channels such as X and TikTok, and WWE and Ripley are evidently aware of the internet response, as Ripley has continued to use them even during her recent work as a top babyface in WWE. And number 1,
I wonder who started that. I wonder who came up with the idea for her to pin people like that. To let their ankles touch their ears. Crazy. She put them in a capital V position.
A spearhead around the world. Now, the Royal Rumble is always a way that WWE can create a viral moment and get the internet talking. At the 2025 Royal Rumble, streamer IShowSpeed would enter the match, and he'd be hit by arguably the most devastating
I was there too. That was crazy.
History. Braun Breaker literally annihilated the YouTube sensation, and the clip lit the internet ablaze. The spear itself was viewed a total of 250 million times on social media within just 18 hours, and it resulted in one of the most successful viral clips WWE have ever created.
And you see how his head whipped back?
During an interview with Gorilla Position, he would tease that there are many more viral moments to come. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a cool moment to have, or a cool opportunity to be presented with. Something I knew I had to make the most of, or else something like that's not gonna land in my lap ever again. Especially if it's a first time thing, and then I screw it up or whatever, so I think it was a great starting point for moments for me. So many more to come. Breaker wasn't exactly lying with these comments, it's just months later on the road to WrestleMania 41, Breaker probably did a spear to Carlito that once again had the internet buzzing for all the right reasons. But there you have it, folks. 10 WWE moments.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. This is interesting videos.